It's that time of the year again. The weather's absolutely awful. I crave some comfort food. Especially if you're Irish, you're craving a big old bowl of stew. This is a proper Irish comfort food classic. Today I'm going to be showing you how my Irish man made it, along with a few add-ons of my own. Let's rock. Start off by seasoning and prepping your beef. I use 900 grams of beef chunks that I got from Aldi, and they've already been cut up into cubes. If you want to get a nice beef cut and cut them into your own preferred sizes, go ahead. Season your meat with a decent pinch of salt and pepper and a few splashes of woshnaasty sauce, along with a tablespoon of flour. I'm making a huge pot of stew here that will do me and my friend a couple of days, so this is why I'm using 900 grams of beef. Also, I like to have a good bit of beef in my stew, but if you're just looking to do one for one night or one bit of dinner, you don't have to use that much beef of course, but when it comes to stew, I would advise you just to cook it in big batches, as you get plenty of days out of it, and the next day it's always nicer. Next, get out your pot, add some oil and turn to medium-high heat. Because this is already cut into small cubes, you don't want to cook this for, I'd say, no longer than 2 minutes, honestly folks. If your pot's hot enough, some of the chunks will get a nice colour and crust like this after a couple of seconds, but you don't want to fully cook this, as if you do, it'll get tough and rubbery when it's in the stew. You just want to cook it for no longer than 2 minutes, gets a bit of colour, leave it to the side, and we're going to add that back into the stew later, and that'll keep it nice and tender. All that beef should leave a nice leftover of flavours and fall in the bottom of the pan, and we're going to cook the veg in that. Now for the veg, we're using 2 white onions, 2 sticks of celery and 1 large carrot. Some people like to cut this into big chunks, add it in now, and that's the veg for the stew. I like to cut mine really fine like this and use that as a base of flavours, blend it up, and I'll use some more veg towards the end. As always, when prepping your veg, have one bowl or container there to add the veg and another one to add the food waste. It makes everything easier when cleaning up. Start to sweat off those vegetables in those beef flavours, along with 3 cloves of garlic, and add a splash of water to help the cooking process. Keep cooking everything at medium to high heat until it gets a nice softness just like this. When the veg is fully softened, add in 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. Give that all a good mix. Time to make this dish more Irish than it already is, and add a tin of the good stuff. And make sure it's on a medium to high heat. Bring that to a boil, then you turn it down to low and let it simmer and let that Guinness reduce. This is such a popular Irish dish and is always seen as the Irish dish. Although it's not a traditional Irish stew, if you want to see that one day let me know. But let's be real here folks, even though it's not traditional, it's still a hearty Irish classic that we all know about. Next part is totally optional, but I like to blend all my veg together until I get a nice thick texture. Now as I said, some people prefer to cut the veg into bigger pieces and just leave it in like that, but I like to blend mine to get a nice base and add more veg towards the end. When blended, add in 1 high quality beef stock cube or stock pot and 500 ml of water. Time to toss in your herbs now, which consists of a few sprigs of fresh thyme, 2 to 3 bay leaves, dried or fresh rosemary if you have it, as fresh is always better, and some chopped fresh parsley. Now I know this looks like a lot of parsley and the stew's very green, but the longer it cooks and simmers, it'll all blend in and add some nice flavour. Also, when you add in your water, I know it looks very watery, but trust the process, have some patience, let this cook, it will begin to thicken. Add in your beef, turn the stew back up to medium high heat, let it boil away for a bit, and turn it back down to a low heat for a simmer. While that's simmering away, I'm going to prep and cut the last bit of veg to add into the stew. I cut 1 more piece of celery, 1 more carrot and 4 to 5 potatoes. Now some people like to cut their celery and carrots into big chunks like I did there. Personally, I like to cut mine the way my used to do it, with nice circles of carrot and nice little bits of celery like that. It just reminds you the way it was served, but you go ahead and cut yours any way you'd like. It reminds you of the way you used to have it. People also like to add some chunks of onion as well, so you can go ahead and do that. Don't worry, I did not forget about potatoes, I never will. That's the only vegetable in my opinion that should never let out of a stew. If you don't like the rest of the vegetables, fair enough, but leaving potatoes out will be an absolute sin. Toss in your vegetables and let that simmer away in a low heat for around 2 hours. That's how long it will take the vegetables to become softened. And I've seen people even whack her in the oven, cover with a lid. If you have a Dutch oven pot, that's perfect for that. Or you can just leave it on the stove top for a couple of hours. That's the beauty of a stew. I left this simmering away for hours. It just got tastier and tastier. I went about my business, went to gym, did other stuff, came back and dug in. And make sure you taste it towards the end to see if you're happy with the salt and pepper levels. I went ahead and added a few cracks of black pepper, some white pepper, added more water as it's going to thicken up, and I added another beef stock cube. Now I knew because I'm making a big batch I was going to need 2 stock cubes, but I just played it safe at the start and just added 1, because you never know, you might have already added too much salt and you don't want to ruin it by adding 2 and it becomes too salty and your whole stew is ruined. So I just played it safe, added 1, taste towards the end, then I knew what I needed to add. Now if you're doing a batch smaller than this, 1 stock cube is enough because they are pretty salty, you don't want to go ahead and ruin it. And don't forget folks, if you're new to the channel and enjoying the content, want to drop a like and subscribe, it's much appreciated. It really helps out a lot. Yep, love yous all. Dish that out in a big bowl with 2 nice slices of butter bread, top with some parsley, and have at it. Now, although this isn't a fully traditional Irish stew, as a traditional Irish stew is made with lamb, has no garlic or Guinness, this is still an Irish comfort classic. Now this is a blend of how my ma used to make it, and I added some touches myself. And I've seen so many different ways of it going about it. Some people even speed up the thickening process by using gravy granules. Now, as you see in the video, I like to blend my vegetables and add more vegetables. Some people just like having the vegetables from the start. They like having bigger chunks of meat. You can do whatever you want as long as you have a good bit of meat, vegetables and herbs, you're good to go. Or it's not fully traditional, it doesn't matter. If it's comforting, reminds you when you were younger on a rainy day, getting served this by your folks, that's all that matters. So yeah. And always dip it with some bread, unless you're a celiac, which is unfortunate, sorry to hear. Now here at the Nasty HQ, I cook it all from Mexicans, Italian, Chinese, but if you're looking for a classic Irish comfort food just like this, I think you'll like this video to show you here. And yeah, I suppose that's that, isn't it? Tops.